As coronavirus continues to spike in public places as states reopen, uh, these places have been trying to maintain a more rigorous standard for keeping some things clean. So now some of the places obviously are restaurants and hotels. The hotel industry, of course, has been hit pretty hard by all this coronavirus stuff. So you would think that they would try really, really hard to make sure things are clean. Well, apparently they didn't. Inside Edition decided to test the cleanliness of several large hotels, and their results, of course, are nasty. So now they tested the Hampton Inn Times Square, the Hyatt Place Times Square, which is, by the way, owned by Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, is a Democrat, and the Trump International Hotel. It turns out that two of these hotels failed basic hygiene checks. And one of them, of course, is the Trump International. The other, of course, is the I believe, Hampton. Anyway, so to be fair, Inside Edition is a tabloid. Keep that in mind, right? So here's what they did. An Inside Edition correspondent for this thing would check into a room, print the program's logo on bed sheets, pillowcases, and towels using a washable spray that can only be seen under ultraviolet light. The correspondent would also use invisible gel to handprint other surfaces, as well as devices such as thermostats and remote controls. He would then make it appear if somebody had slept in the room, leave, and then rebook the room under another name the following night. So that was your methodology. It wasn't exactly scientific, but hey, you can tell if somebody cleaned the surface, right? You can tell if they washed or replaced the sheets or not. So there you go. It's fairly straightforward. You can't really mess that up. That said, Trump International, which overlooks Central Park and offers a personal protective equipment welcome kit, did change the bed sheets, but did not change the pillowcases and failed to wipe down the desks and the remote. Because, gross. A Salon reporter was able to verify with hotel management that the PPE welcome kits included a pair of masks, gloves, and sanitizing materials, but apparently they could not be asked to replace a pillowcase. Gross. Like, you put your head on that. That's nasty. I mean, and if you watch TV, by the way, you're also touching your remote, which you don't know, like, what the last person who touched that remote had touched before that. I mean, hotel porn, anyone? All right, anyway, gross is nasty. Not bed bug nasty, but still nasty, right? So now, when Inside Edition revealed the results of this sting, a hotel spokesperson accused the program of fake news. I'm not kidding. Quote, following an internal review, we have concluded that the claims made by Inside Edition are categorically false. So basically, hey man, this, we investigated ourselves and we found that we did nothing wrong. Everything was perfect. Okay, well, how do you explain the fact that there's still that gel on the desks and the phone, and the fact that it's the same, like that spray is still on the pillowcase, like that was supposedly used, right? It's not like, oh, we took the pillowcase, we wash it, and we replace it with the same pillowcase. That's not how that works in the hotel industry. No, you strip everything. You take it to get washed. And then you don't always return it to the same room. No. And so, no, they got caught red-handed under the UV light. Gross. And then to come out and say, well, fake news. Super gross. I mean, it's shocking that the Trump Hotel would miss out on something like that. And by shocking, I mean, I don't actually mean that it shocks me at all. Sarcastic comment. But anyway, look, that's it. The Trump Hotel actually didn't do the worst. Actually, it was a Hyatt Place Times Square that was owned by the Pritzker family. So to show that this is not like, oh, Donald Trump, terrible manager. No, he's supposed to divest from his businesses and not actually supposed to run them. And look, by the way, I mean, I can't really blame Donald Trump for this specifically. I mean, yes, he sets the culture from the top, or he did set the culture from the top. when he was running it. But I think this is more of like a local management issue. And so local management probably is like, hey, let's cut corners. Let's cut staff because we're losing money. They've lost about $1 billion in total from coronavirus. And so, yeah, they're cutting corners and they're not cleaning as much as they're supposed to be. And so probably cut back on staff as well because, again, they're losing money and they want to make money. And so that's the problem, right? And now Pritzker, probably the same thing. In fact, what happened at that Hyatt place was actually worse. Apparently, the sheets and the pillowcase still showed the logo, and the gel was apparently on the remote. So they didn't touch the sheets or the pillowcase or the remote. They didn't do anything. Disastrous. And again, super gross. But to be fair, their response was a little bit better. They didn't call it fake news, for one. A Hyatt spokesperson told the program the company was, quote, deeply concerned about the situation described, as it is not representative of Hyatt's rigorous enhanced cleaning protocols that have been deployed globally due to COVID-19. A better response, but actually they did worse than the Trump hotel. So that is pretty interesting. It really does make me reevaluate hotels, by the way, because if they're not cleaning like this, the way that they should be during coronavirus, just imagine what they normally do. Gross. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.